Hi there, it's my pleasure to introduce Kathryn McCann, an accomplished leader with extensive experience across the public, private, and not-for-profit sectors as Executive Director of Tasmania Football Club. Kath is guiding the club through its pivotal establishment phase. A proud Tasmanian and a graduate of the University of Tasmania with a degree in psychology and marketing, Kath has excelled in industries ranging from tourism and aviation to education and entertainment. She also holds key board roles, including as a non-executive director of Tasmanian Development Board and Bank of Us, and a number of other key board positions. Passionate about mentoring and empowering others, Kath is an inspiring force for women and young people. Thank you very much, Kath, for joining me this Monday afternoon, and hope this is not too busy period for you. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so I understand that this must be a really busy time for you. If you could shed us a little bit of light that how the day-to-day activity is going on through the establishment of the Tasmania Football Club, and where do you stand right now these days?
Yeah, look, it's a wonderful time. The last 12 months has been an incredible journey for the Tasmania Football Club, and I've had the privilege of leading the establishment phase of our club as we move to become operational. And this year we've had a really key focus on three key areas, being the organisational foundations and really setting up the governance and the structures of the organisation to move into the operational phase. As well, of course, as fan engagement. And we launched the club back in March. We've now got over 205,000 founding members. And our members are hungry for content and they want to come on the Tasmania Devils journey. So making sure that we fill that hunger with relevant information and activities and offers and stories is a key focus day to day. And of course, the other area is facilities. So working alongside a range of partners on critical infrastructure projects that will enable our club turn operational in the coming years. So of course, there's 4 projects. It's the Macquarie Point Stadium, our training and administration facility, the UTAS Stadium upgrades in Launceston, and of course the Dial Park upgrades on the Northwest Coast in Penguin. So day to day, that's key focus for us, and getting the club ready to take that next phase, which we'll really see as our new CEO commences at the start of February in 2025, and we take that next step into operations and move towards first bounce.
I also believe you secured your first home in Kingsborough Council. So that how are things over there? I think these are two twin ovals over there.
Yeah, so just last week, the state government here announced that Kingborough Twin Ovals is the site that our training and administration facility will be developed. So that has taken some time to get to the final site selection with a significant amount of due diligence that's been conducted. The club are really excited about that announcement and really focused now on detailed planning and design so that we can move to planning and, of course, construction. And that facility is a really important piece of infrastructure for our club, a piece of infrastructure where both our on-field and off-field staff will reside, if you like, their home base, but importantly, an asset for the community as well. So we're looking to see our women into the competition in 2027. So we really want to make sure that the facility is up and running and we can welcome our athletes, which is not too far away.
Very nice. Now, a bit about yourself, because as an immigrant inspired into Tasmania from Pakistan, I'm trying to study the island as much as possible before I chance to get to relocate to Tasmania. I noted yourself as one of the key leaders in this island state who have been working in a number of industries. So I would like to understand that, had sports always been a passion of yours, or do you developed it along the way?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's a very kind observation that you've made. I've been very fortunate to work in a number of industries and been surrounded by some terrific people here in Tasmania over many years now. Sport has been a passion of mine since I was a young person. My father played a lot of football. So he represented Glenorchy District Football Club in the Tasmanian Football League, and it was in an era where women weren't playing the game. So my love of team sport began with netball. I played many years of netball, and team sport is where I formed some of the greatest memories I've had in my life. So I'm passionate, I guess you'd say, on field. I've made some of my lifelong friends playing sport, but I am definitely a consumer of all things sport. And I genuinely love engaging in sport. I'm now actively involved in field hockey here in Tasmania. My children and my husband both play, and I'm fortunate to manage the Tasmanian Tigers women hockey team. So I love what sport and team sport particularly does to community. The opportunity for people to develop networks, obviously from a preventative health and wellbeing perspective. I think sport is just a wonderful thing for people to be involved in, and whether that's on field or off field, or even as a fan, that sense of belonging that can come from being part of a team or a club, and being unified in the support of your colours, I think is something incredibly special. So to have found myself working in the professional sports industry is almost a dream come true. To be able to combine, obviously, my love of Tasmania and this place and this community with the industry, and ultimately our quest to join the AFL and the AFLW is a bit of a dream, to be honest. I feel very, very privileged to hold the role that I do.
Yeah, must be very interesting time. So I'm glad that you are in this industry, I think, which you like the most, or one of the most. In your graduation address, you mentioned about establishing a personal brand of yourself when you're talking about the graduation to the students of University of Tasmania. You seem to be involved in a lot of volunteer work. So is that a conscious effort on your part to extend a helping hand to others?
Yeah, it certainly is. And I think one of the things as I've journeyed through my career has been a really big focus on defining my purpose. And probably in the last decade, I've really found clarity around that. And I think that's something, that we all probably strive to or look to achieve as we journey through our career. And me understanding my purpose and I guess the legacy that I want to leave has really made the decision making that I make a lot clearer and if you like, more purposeful. So I'm very, very passionate, particularly about young people and particularly about women. And opportunities. I believe all young people should have someone in their corner, and for women, the opportunity to participate in sport, I think, is just such a wonderful way to develop relationships, but also to create equity in the communities in which we live and work. So yes, I've done a lot of volunteer work. I think it's always much more fun giving than receiving. I've been fortunate to be involved in a number of organisations that have provided me opportunities, and I think there's nothing more fulfilling and satisfying than knowing that you're contributing to someone else's success. So yeah, that's a key area of focus for me in every decision I make in my career.
I heard a lot about the phrase "in quiet pursuit of extraordinary." So is that a Tasmanian thing? Is that a brand which people talk about, or it comes from the ground up? If you could shed a light on that as well, if you don't know.
Yeah, look, I'd like to acknowledge Todd Babiak and the work of Brand Tasmania in, if you like, the definition of being Tasmanian, which they summed up in those very few words around the quiet pursuit of the extraordinary. And that line, if you like, came about after an extensive amount of consultation and hundreds of interviews with Tasmanians. And I think in many ways it does sum up the people we are and the community that we are. And we see that brand proposition, if you like, come to life in many, many ways. And hopefully people are starting to see that with the Tasmania Football Club. But of course, we see it with the work of Tourism Tasmania and our tourism and hospitality industry. We see it across many industries in Tasmania. And Tasmanians are a special group of people. And we do get on with it. We've definitely got an island culture, and one would like to think that we're humble. And we do some incredible things down here, many of which are world leading. And it is that quiet pursuit of the extraordinary, I think, that makes this place particularly special.
Wonderful. You also mentioned in the same address about creating 7 minor goals for a larger goal. So these days, there must be a lot of goals, maybe more than 7, to achieve your larger goal to establish the brand. And was that 200,000 membership in your mind when you were going through the establishment of that phase of your goal? Was that in your mind that you will be able to achieve this extraordinary success? I think you are among the top 3 clubs of the world in terms of the membership.
Yeah, so when someone once told me around goal setting, for every major goal, make sure you have 7 minor goals. And I think if I could summarize why that's important to me, is it is important to celebrate the small wins along the way. If we just have the one major goal, sometimes it can feel unattainable or out of reach. But making sure that as we progress towards our goals, and whether that's going forth or going sideways or sometimes even setbacks, it is important to recognise that the process or the journey is as important as the outcome. In terms of the footy club, yeah, look, we knew that we had great support. Tasmanians have waited a long time for this club, and we've done a lot of work in the community. We've been out on the road doing a roadshow in effect, and listening and hearing. We could feel the groundswell. We'd also undertaken to do a major survey, and we had received some great responses to that. So we could feel that there was a level of excitement and enthusiasm. And then on March the 18th, when we launched the club and the community launched the club in the communities in which they live and work, it was such an incredible night. We never expected, or I know I never expected, for the response to membership to be as hard and fast as it was, and to have over 100,000 members in 24 hours was a truly humbling experience. And we're doing a lot of work now to better understand what motivated people to become a founding member of the Tasmanian Devils. And I can't wait to really understand that and to grow our understanding of our member base, so that we can really make sure that we're tailoring to what they're looking for from their club effectively.
You're also part of the mentor walk. So if you could let us know a bit about what aspirational, the pitfalls do you hear from the younger people, or especially the women who are entering into the professional life? So what are their challenges which you often hear about?
Yeah, so Mentor Walks is a terrific initiative. It's a global initiative, and Hydro Tasmania have sponsored Mentor Walks coming to Tasmania. So I'm fortunate enough to be a mentor that tries to get out as regularly as possible with some incredible mentees from all across, particularly the South and Hobart specifically. One of the things I would say is often a problem shared is a problem halved. So usually when we're walking, we're having discussions, and it's an opportunity just to raise an issue or a situation. And as a group, we generally sort of workshop and talk it through, all whilst out in the natural environment walking. So I think it's just, fundamentally, it's an opportunity to connect with like-minded people, but to also, gain counsel. And sometimes, as I say, just saying a problem or an issue or a challenge or an opportunity out loud presents a great opportunity for you to be able to work through it yourself. So hopefully Mentor Walks and certainly my involvement there, along with some other absolutely incredible mentors, will facilitate those conversations for young women and women in almost sort of the moving into middle management to grow. But like any mentoring, of course, I can be there to be a sounding board or to hear, but it's always, as always is the case, we actually end up learning from the mentees in what is a really generous transfer of knowledge and skills and experience, and ultimately friendship.
Wonderful. I also noticed another great initiative in Tasmania that is from TAS staff, that is the Tasmania Academy of Leadership and Sports program. And you being the director of Tasmanian Devils, I believe you are a part of the launch team alongside Hobart Hurricanes and Tasmania Jack Jumpers. So how do you see that establishment and the first course, which would be, I think, enrolled from the February 2025 period, would develop the player management and sports management in this island state? And do you see potential for the people who are entering into sports management through that staff initiative?
Yeah, we're really proud of the Tasmanian Academy of Leadership and Sport. We've just launched it recently, and the first information sessions are actually happening in the first week of December. This will be the first time ever in Tasmania that students can study a diploma level qualification in sports management and sports leadership in person. So one of the things that we're very passionate about as a footy club, but also as a member of the professional sports industry here in Tasmania, is that the club and its appeal can be used for broader benefit. So hence the introduction, or I guess the establishment of the Tasmanian Academy of Leadership and Sport. This one we've done a little bit differently. So these academies do exist across the country, and many of the AFL clubs, as well as other codes, do have these academies. But this is the first time we've ever seen a collaboration of multiple sports within one academy. So we're really proud to stand alongside cricket and basketball and netball in the first instance. And obviously the students that will enrol will spend time in classroom. The classroom will be, actually the first one will be at the Ninja Stadium here on the Eastern Shore. But they'll also spend quite a significant number of hours doing work experience across those respective sports. So we're really encouraged by the initial response, and we will see the first cohort of students in the South commence in February 2025. And it's a terrific way, obviously, to build our off-field sports industry professionals here in Tasmania with what is now a growing industry. We need more staff, we need more qualified staff, and ultimately we'd love to have more Tasmanian staff filling those jobs.
Yeah, you also mentioned in that address that you were the first one from your family who attended university. And these days, I believe there is a decline in the university enrollments and the graduates who are finally passing through the year 11 and 12. So do you see that gap could also be plugged in through such an initiative where the people who are having the skills could be polished and they could be bring into this sports management?
Yeah, absolutely. So the initial qualification will be at that diploma level, but the intent will be to move into university for undergraduate as well. And we've got a great partnership and articulation with the University of Tasmania to see that become a reality. So one of the things that the footy club particularly is really focused on is ensuring that the benefit of the club, sits beyond elite men and women and boys and girls, but also more broadly into the community. And if we can encourage educational outcomes and attainment, then that is a terrific thing for this club to be doing, and something that we would want to be a part of.
That's great. Yeah. As you move forward, how do you plan to keep up the momentum both on the field and off the field? Because having that base of 200,000 people then will now push the expectations much higher within the state and I think within the AFL. So how do you plan to keep up with the momentum?
Yeah, so certainly this move from the establishment to the operational phase is really important for the club. And next year, one of the critical things that we'll see happen will be the emergence of our footy department. So that's going to be really important because that will see the commencement of obviously our list build and bringing on of athletes. So that is a key focus for us. And, 2027, 28, it might feel like a long time away, but time certainly is moving by, and we can see how quickly this last year has gone. In terms of the activity for our fans and the fan engagement piece, just today we've launched a survey which is called Put Your Say Into Play. And that survey is to really get great input from our members and our fans in respect to what they want to see from their club in the next 12 months. And I'm really proud of the fact we did a survey last 12 months, so 12 months ago, and all of the outcomes that we received, we've implemented. And so we'll be utilising the results from this survey again to really form our activity plan and schedule for the next 12 months. So there'll be a lot to deliver and there'll be a lot going on, but we want to make sure that it's driven by our members. And a critical piece of that is actually taking the time to ask them and making sure we really understand what they want from their club. And I can't wait to see the results, and I can guarantee you that that'll be a critical ingredient to the planning for 2025.
Excellent. I believe when you started over here, there were a couple of people, including yourself. Then about 2-3 months back, there were 4 in number. So how big is the team currently, if you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so we've got a board of 9, and they're an amazing board, and they were the establishment board, still operating today. When we started and when I took on the role of executive director, there was me and one other, Lizzie, working alongside me, and Lizzie's done a tremendous job. We now have a team of 7. So we've got some marketing coordinators, and we've got someone working in content. We've got someone working in corporate services, and of course, we've got Jessie there who's leading the Tasmanian Academy of Leadership and Sport. So the team has grown significantly, as has the output that comes with the team. But I think we can expect to see the continued growth of the club, and also the number of people that sit within it over the coming years as we really surge to that key operational phase.
Wonderful. So this has become a kind of a mandatory question, but if you don't mind, I would like to ask you too, do you follow the sports of cricket? And if you do, who is your favorite cricketer, maybe from Tasmania or Australia?
Well, that's interesting. A few years ago, I was very fortunate to go on a trade mission to India and Sri Lanka with Ricky Ponting and David Boone. And of course, they're going to be famous names when I'm talking into different jurisdictions around the world. I'd have to say, in terms of, some of the probably the older generation, I'm not sure Booney would appreciate me saying that, but David Boone was definitely one of my favourites. George Bailey, always a big fan of George. And in more recent times, Tim Payne's obviously been a wonderful cricketer for Tasmania, but also a representation of Tasmania. In saying that, just this week, a few nights ago, I was at the WBBL, of course, watching our women play, and the Hurricanes have made it through to the finals, which is just terrific. And it's just great to see the women doing so well, and they've done so incredibly well over the last few years in the Shield games. So I do love my cricket. I love all sport. It's going to be hopefully a good summer of cricket, and the Tasmanians will continue to do great things.
Good to know that. And talking about summers, have summers finally arrived in Tasmania, or Tasmanians are still waiting for temperatures and reaching into late 20s?
I just missed that. I lost some audio. Sorry.
Yeah, how's the weather? Has summers arrived in Tasmania?
How's the weather? I'm sorry I missed that question. It's been quite warm. It's a little bit overcast today, but the temperature's definitely warming up. But we've seen some good spring variation. There's been some dustings of snow, there's been some rain, there's been some wind, and of course there's been some days of sun. But one thing I'd say, it's pretty perfect to me.
Very, very nice. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate taking my call out of the blue and talking everything Tasmanian about yourself. And I wish you all the best for the academy and also for the Tasmanian Devils. Hopefully, it will be a force to reckon with in the AFL also.
Thank you, and thank you for your interest in everything that we're doing.
Thank you.